First of all, thank you all for coming out. This is a gathering of law enforcement because of concern of our public safety, not only with law enforcement, but the community at large. If you'll remember, on September the 18th, the Sumter County Sheriff's Office was originally involved with an individual named Dontrell Carter. Mr. Carter was involved in a domestic violence situation in the county at approximately 12:36 a.m. At 1:12 a.m., further into the county, Mr. Carter fired several shots at a home. At 1:14 a.m., he was spotted by a police officer from the city of Sumter in the 521 on Alice Drive area, driving a vehicle that was given out as a description from the sheriff's office related from the other crimes and other events. Our city officer was alone at the time, awaited on some other officers from the county. We began to go out into the county. Shortly thereafter, a pursuit began. After approximately 5 miles of a pursuit, the individual turned left on Furmanfield Road off US 521, wrecked his vehicle in the ditch, exited his vehicle with a shoulder-fired, semi-automatic, high-powered weapon, and fired several shots, striking our police vehicle, also fired at the Sheriff's Department and the deputies. We began a search that evening. An extensive search has been taking place, and we're still trying to find Mr. Carter. We have reason to believe that he may have trimmed his hair, may not have dreads. So we have 2 photographs here for you to look at. We also believe that he's still in the Sumter area. He frequents the Sarah Glenn area and the Windsor City Mobile Home Park. Mr. Carter should be considered armed and dangerous. We have reason to believe that he has obtained another weapon, another high-powered weapon. We also have reason to believe, based on some information from associates, that he has said that he will again react in the same manner should law enforcement engage him or attempt to arrest him. We believe he's a danger not only to law enforcement but also the community at large. We can't say that enough. Mr. Carter may be driving or in the passenger of a black 4-door vehicle. Maybe a Nissan or an Infiniti. We do not have definitive information of that. We believe that Mr. Carter, based on information we've had, has continued his criminal enterprise of selling marijuana and briefly stopping in local clubs in the Sumter area. Because of that, the police department and the sheriff's department collectively, through Crime Stoppers, offering a $7,500 award for information that leads to the capture and apprehension of Mr. Carter. This is something that we traditionally do not do, but given the facts of his propensity to violence, given the fact that his weapon of choice is a 7.62 millimeter high-powered rifle, given the fact that he's fired recklessly at law enforcement and the community at large, we need the community's help. The method of achieving the reward is providing the information, provided through Crime Stoppers. You will be given a number to call in when you call in, and once the apprehension is made, the first person that calls with the information will receive the $7,500. We need the community's help. We need the media's help. We need to take this individual off the streets. We're holding this press conference at the Sumter Lee County Jail as symbolism to allow the community to realize this is where Mr. Carter needs to be. Now, I'll ask Chief Deputy Hampton Gardner from the Sumter County Sheriff's Office to come up here.
Thank you, Chief. Good morning. We thank you, too, for coming this morning. Again, we consider Mr. Dontrell Carter a threat to society. He is extremely dangerous, and his senseless act on September 18th will not be tolerated. He has been located. We had information, that he has been frequenting possibly the Windsor City area, still here in Sumter County, as the Chief alluded to, and we feel that he's possibly still in Sumter County. Anyone that is found assisting him will certainly be charged as well. So we, again, urge and encourage anyone that has information that would assist in his capture to contact us. A reward has been offered, and again, any information we feel would be very helpful in us catching Mr. Carter. Thank you.
Anybody have any questions?
Yeah. you said that you believe that he now has another high-powered weapon,
Right.
and that he's willing to use it against officers.
Correct.
Since you've been able to determine that and made that public, have there been any other charges against any other individuals that might have provided this weapon to him? In other words, how do you know he's gotten the weapon?
It's information that we've received during the course of our investigation. We say we believe he has. We
Sure.
do not have definitive information. We've not spotted him. We do not know the location and purchase of the weapon from. That will open itself up once the apprehension is made and the investigation continues. We will make other charges should we find someone that has provided with him or assisted him in a straw purchase of a weapon. Those charges will be made as well as the case unfolds.
You also said that you believe he is still continuing drug activity within Sumter County. To that end, have there been any other charges that he is now facing other than the ones that stemmed from September 18th?
Again, everything that I laid out for you about what we believe has been information we've gleaned from sources that we deal with on a frequent basis throughout the community. So again, that will develop itself once the apprehension is made and the follow-up investigation is concluded, and other charges are possible.
Going back to the night of the incident itself, everything occurred within the county jurisdiction over in Dalzell and Rembert, with the exception of y'all spotting him on 521 headed towards Alice Drive. What hasn't come clear is what direction do you think he was heading at that time? When your officers spotted him, was he headed towards town? Was he headed out of town?
Well,
in other words, how did he get there?
He was traveling northbound in the area of 521 Alice Drive. We believe he has relationships or a extended family in the Rembert area. That's the reason he was going in that direction. We believe that he was frequenting Spencer Road, which is the next road north of Frierson Road. So we feel like he was going back to that to abandon his vehicle at some point and try to flee law enforcement.
Okay, well, I guess that's what I'm trying to get to, because the time he was located, the time that SPD spotted him, was the southernmost point in all the events that occurred that night. Do we believe he had been in the city earlier, or what got him there is the question?
Well, the initial call started in Dalzell, but then
Right.
there was a call on North Main Street, which would have been closer to the city, but considered county jurisdiction.
Right.
Of course, he was spotted in the Alice Drive area, which, like you said, the most southern part of the chase, I would confirm. But then he went out into the county, where again, we feel that he has relatives and he knows that area pretty well.
Okay.
There's several ways he could have gotten Alice Drive to 521. I mean, the most two obvious was he rather got on the frontage road at the bypass, dead in the 521
Right.
right, or he got on the bypass and exited 521. That would be the most two direct routes. We have not determined exactly how he got to that location at this time.
Well, and I guess the more important question was, why was he in that area? Do you think he was trying to dump his car locally, or?
I
Fair
can't
enough.
substitute my judgment for what he was thinking about that night.
Fair
I
enough.
just don't know.
All right.
You said that he was seen or possibly spotted at nightclubs in Sumter County. Do you have like footage of that, or how do you?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
Again, that's information we received from sources in the community.
So since the last press conference that you guys have held, have we furthered along this investigation? Of course, we still think that he's here, but was it community tips that kind of led you guys to?
Yeah, the information is still coming in. We partner with the U.S. Marshal Service. We work diligently with U.S. Marshal Service and the Fugitive Task Force. Continued investigation even through the hurricane. We were out of pocket on that side of the house for 7 days during the hurricane. But we haven't stopped working. Where we are now, the juncture we're at now, is we need information. We need information from the community. And we believe is it important enough to glean this information because of public safety to offer this amount of reward.
You guys recovered the gun that he fired at the vehicle?
State
At
Law
the scene,
Enforcement
right?
Division has recovered that and is in evidence.
Okay. Do you think he had another weapon with him at that time?
None was recovered.
Well, piggybacking on what Jim just asked, are there any theories onto how he got away from that area? He crashed his car, he fired at y'all, ran into the woods. What do we think happened? How did he get out of it?
That's a huge area. We've searched it with canines, we searched it with helicopters, we went back days after, even searched it with cadaver dogs. It's a huge, huge area, a great large wooded area that goes back over to Spencer Road It goes back over Furmanville Road. He has relationships with individuals that live close by and in close proximity from where he ditched the vehicle and jumped out and ran. So he could be in any number of places during the course of his pursuit.
But along those lines, do you believe that he received assistance in getting away from law enforcement?
Oh, absolutely.
So, other than information from sources, do you have any concrete evidence that you ever made it out of this?
Well, we haven't located. We've searched several times. We went back and searched during hours of daylight. We've used 3 different tracking teams. We've used cadaver dogs. We did extensive search. So we believe he's not there, but more importantly, we received information from sources that have been reliable in the past. It's given us information based on the location I provided earlier that he's been seen at since the incident of September the 18th.
Is that a swampy area or just wooded?
It is wooded area, some swamp in that area.
And you said he cut his hair. He's driving. What kind of car do you think?
I said he possibly cut his hair.
Possibly cut his hair.
He may have cut his hair, his dreads off. He's driving rather a black, we believe, a black Infiniti or a black Nissan Corvette.
Locally registered?
We
Don't
don't know
know.
his register.
Got it.
Have you been in contact with the woman that called that night for domestic situation and also the uncle? Have they helped you?
Well, because we have victims' issues regarding those crimes, it would not be appropriate for us to discuss any conversation we have with them at this point.
It's still an ongoing investigation, so we will not.
Anybody else? Okay, thank you all for coming. Everybody.